It's been a minute since I did one of these, but let's go through the day and see what I'm eating. My first meal of the day is usually pretty small, right before I go to the gym, and it's very early, so forgive me for not recording first. These are 2 protein waffles. They're pretty good, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Today is Saturday, March. I don't know. I'm about 2 weeks into a caloric deficit, and I feel more or less okay. But I've noticed that I struggle during the weekends to stay exactly on point. Now I do fine, but staying exactly on point is tough. So hopefully pointing a camera at my face is going to help that. Because you guys will see me and be able to judge me. Not the busiest of days I have today, but that's kind of a good thing. I do have plenty of things to do, including eating properly. Many of you know that I was overweight a bunch of years ago, and it was, from what I remember, not that hard to lose a bunch of weight compared to how I feel it is today. But that could just be a time delay thing, and I forgot how hard it was at that point. But I certainly don't remember being nearly as meticulous as I am now. Now, of course, my body is a different size. It's used to different amounts of food. It's used to all sorts of new things that I wasn't used to way back then, like exercising, not eating in an egregious caloric surplus. I'm more or less healthy now. I'm a lot healthier than I was back then too. So it's been a little bit different. It's a different challenge. I kind of like it, to be honest with you. I like the rigidity and the deadlines more or less. I kind of thrive on those. So let's go through a day and let's see what I eat. You already saw a very light breakfast of just those 2 waffles. But let's go through the rest of the day and let's see how I do. Alright, it's leg day. I've been nursing a bum knee for a while now. I know exactly when and how I hurt it. But we'll see how this goes. Hopefully it's okay. It turned out to be quite okay, actually. Generally, the first thing I start with is hamstring curls. That's probably why my deadlift is my strongest lift. I'm not sure why. I do enjoy doing one leg at a time, unilateral movements. Yeah, you saw my headphone just kind of go off into oblivion there. I got right into squats shortly thereafter. I was nervous, but I've been messing around with some new bar placements, and I kind of took a step back over the last couple of weeks. This is 275. I haven't messed with 275 in a couple of weeks. This is not sped up. This felt amazing. Felt very, very fast. The 7th and 8th reps here were, I got tired after a while, but that'll happen. So instead, what I did was, go up to 325. Now, these are sets of 8. I had not done sets of 8 at 325, actually, ever. You saw that first rep going down nice and slow just so I could kind of feel the weight. The last handful of reps were a little bit of grinders. Looking at this now for the first time, as opposed to how I felt it, these went up a lot faster than I thought they did. So I'm probably going to go heavier. Low bar placement really works well for me. Very happy I did that. Then just burn out the quads. Doing some leg extensions. I love this machine. It's so smooth. It's a Panada. They make it in Italy. Of course, me being Italian, I jive pretty well with it. So not too bad. Last movement was this pit squat thing. Hopefully the quality comes out actually halfway decent. We had a hydraulic pit squat machine back when I was in Chicago, and I loved the thing. This felt not terribly dissimilar. There was a lot of struggling going on here. It's 7 plates on each side, so nothing to sneeze at, but at the same time, struggles. Oh yeah, it's my last exercise, so of course there are going to be struggles. But, you kind of have to get your mind going. Oh, big stick. All right, we're good. Okay. And then just sink to failure. Today also happened to be the day that I changed my pump site. This is kind of a whole thing. So here we are yanking out the previous pump site. You can barely see the catheter there. And we struggle getting the cartridge out, but we manage. It's a whole process. I got to make sure that the insulin gets drawn up appropriately. Make sure there are no bubbles in the insulin, because that's the last thing I need, is to just take bubbles instead of insulin, because if I don't take insulin, I will probably die. Of course, it'll take a few days at least, but, I don't really want to feel like crap at all, ever. I usually drop somewhere in the neighborhood of 2.5 milliliters. Does a job. This is the hardest part, opening the packet of the cartridge, making sure I get all of the air out of the cartridge before I put the cartridge in. Again, air is bad. We don't like air where there's not supposed to be air. I feel like I look like a tool when I do that. Flick the air out, but has to be done. Then we get the insulin down into the cartridge, followed by putting the cartridge into the actual pump. There we go. Nice click. I'm not sure why I still have the needle cap in my mouth. There we go. I figured it out. Then we have to get the catheter and the tubing all prepared. Now, this tubing, there's a lot of it. You may have heard somebody talk about having their tube get stuck on the doorknob, and believe you me, it's a thing. Now, once it's all connected, I have to wait for the whole thing to fill up because the tube has air in it, and we don't want air in it, we want insulin in it because air is bad. Get rid of more packaging, and maybe you'll be able to see just how big this thing is. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. And put it on my other side. Remember, I took it out the other side, and there it goes. I still don't like it. There's the needle that just got jabbed into my side. Fabulous. But back into the purpose of today, protein shake post-workout. I just signed with Legion, so my code is there on the screen if you're into that. It's 2 and we had errands to run. The dogs are drinking next to me. Excuse me, I'm just very hungry. We stopped at Kava, and I got a chicken and white rice bowl. But here's the kicker. They had the calorie lists right under like where I ordered. And the saffron rice has fewer calories, and it comes with a vinaigrette, and I switched the vinaigrette for essentially hot sauce. So I'm still going to count it as whatever my thing has. Like my Fitness Pal or Carbon, whichever I'm using today. Looks good. I've had it before. It is good. The sauce is not hot. If you know me, that you know I'm a very hot sauce person. But this is not that hot, but it's close enough. All right, I'm eating. Quite a bit later in the day, and of the two of us, Kyrie is much more picky when it comes to food. Was expecting a glance, but I didn't get one. So she wanted the burritos that she'd bought previously, so this is one of the burritos that she's bought previously. Macros are up there. That's not going to be enough for me, so I'm going to make some more stuff in a minute. It is a breakfast burrito. I'm not mad at it. Dude, do you mind? As expected, that burrito did almost nothing for me. It was good, but it did almost nothing. So, tried and true. Chicken rice, chicken thighs. I know they have a little bit more fat in them, but they taste a lot better, especially in the air fryer. There, you couldn't see it, but maybe you can. No, I don't think you can. There's some rice under there. So, I still have a little bit of wiggle room for my goals for today. I'm gonna be hungry all night, I think. But we're going to fix that with this and a little bit of volume later. Yeah, that burrito did nothing. 300 calories for me? No. Especially after that leg day and then taking the dogs for a walk. Nah. All right, last food of the day. It is a stracciatella homemade ice cream. Every time I go to Europe, the only flavor of gelato I get is stracciatella, so I try to make it myself. Ingredients: ice, almond milk. I used vanilla casein protein powder. Quick process, is pretty good. A little bit of sweetener. I used stevia. Just a dash of vanilla extract. And a quarter cup of 85% dark chocolate chips. I like the dark ones. They're just a little bit more fierce. I didn't give you all the exact measurements, but it'll be up on my Instagram and TikTok soon. I'm pretty happy with this. I will say, just because you're cutting calories doesn't mean you have to be clammed up in your house the whole time. I ate 2 things that I didn't cook today, which is actually more than usual. And sure, it's easy to kind of do your own thing on the weekend, but if you're paying attention, you can go do your own thing on the weekend and still make your goals. And if you don't happen to make your goals, you dust yourself off and you do better tomorrow. Not a big deal. I'm gonna finish this, brush my teeth, and go to bed. It's getting late. That's what I'm eating today. More or less, yeah, it's the same thing pretty much most days, especially when in a caloric deficit, and I'm going to be very hungry tomorrow because I know how I get after leg day when I'm cutting, and it's going to be interesting. But thank you for staying this long. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next week.